Welcome to yet another engaging session of a scientific forum, Immunize Talk. At Human Biological Institute, we take immense pride in driving several public health awareness initiatives through our one-of-its-kind platform, Immunize with Pride. Immunize with Pride is an awareness initiative dedicated to educating the public about vaccine-preventable diseases and the importance of timely vaccination. This session featured leading experts from across the country who shared their valuable insight on key health topics aimed to raise awareness and promote overall well-being of the society at large. Today, we are delighted to have Dr. Maithili Joshi with us to share her expert perspective on stay ahead of infections, the value of timely vaccination. I shall be sharing more about today's speaker in a short while. For the moment, please allow me to share a brief introduction of Human Biological Institute. Human Biological Institute is a division of Indian Immunologicals Limited. IIL was established in 1982 by the National Dairy Development Board as one of its units and was later incorporated as a company in 1999. HBI was founded in 1998 when the Government of India requested IIL to produce a modern tissue culture anti-rabies vaccine to phase out the unsafe nerve tissue vaccine. Our first manufacturing facility was set up in Ooty. The facility is one of its kind in India and rolled out the country's first varicella culture rabies vaccine in the year 2000. Today, we are a leader in the ARV segment with presence in around 60 countries. HBI has launched several other vaccines and became a major player in the human vaccine segment. HBI has been a key player to of the pentavalent vaccine to the Government of India under its Universal Immunization Program. In yet another milestone, HBI introduced Havishure in 2024, India's first indigenous hepatitis A vaccine, aimed at providing protection for both children and adults. With the vision of shaping global healthcare by spearheading the One Health initiative and the mission to innovate, produce, and market quality healthcare products and services to improve and extend lives, we are committed to providing affordable, high quality products through continuous technical innovations to meet our customers' need. As a market leader, we have significant step towards reducing plastic burden by 160 tons per annum through the introduction of eco-friendly packaging of a flagship brand, Aberab. As a part of our corporate social responsibility initiatives, we have adopted schools where IIL provide infrastructure support and basic facilities, including assistance with the midday meal program. In association with NDDB through the gift milk program, hundreds of school-going children benefit from daily milk nutrition. We have also donated an oxygen generating plant to Telangana Institute of Medical Science and Research. These are just a few highlights about IIL. For more information, please visit our website at www.indianimmune.com. Immunize with Pride is one of a unique initiative which emphasizes that vaccination not only protects individual but also strengthen community and immunity. Welcome to today's episode of Immunize Talk. This session is dedicated to a highly significant topic, stay ahead of infection, the value of timely vaccination. Today's speaker is Dr. Maithili Joshi, who is an MBBS and MD Pediatrics. She has done her fellowship in pediatric infectious diseases and is now associated as a consultant with Brahma Kumaris Global Hospital and Research Center, which is in Mumbai and Maharashtra. So let me share a small video before I introduce of the speaker. So good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon.
Ma'am, as today's topic suggests, so we will start with the basics. What does timely vaccination mean?
Once the baby is born, it is important to follow the schedule which has been given. We have two schedules, that is the National Immunization Schedule and the one which is by the IAP. So IAP has some more special vaccines which we will talk about them in a further course. But so the immune system of a child is not that well developed during
Okay.
the first 2 3 years of life. That's why some extra protection for particular diseases like diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, and all of those are extremely important. This goes along with ensuring that the baby is adequately breastfed as well. As most importantly, breast milk is the first vaccine what the child gets after birth. And of course, then comes the entire series. At birth, you give one set of the vaccines, then 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and so on.
So, ma'am, as you are mentioning, so this is what tell us the importance of children's health and vaccinations as well.
Kids tend to fall ill quite frequently in the first 5 years of life as their immune system is also being developed.
Yes.
Also, if the kid is in the daycare, so the child is exposed to many more kids who may or may not be in the best of their health. To prevent these infections, it's always better that parents follow a timely schedule for their children. And because illnesses, they waste that much period from a child's healthy years, and if contracted early in life, so pertussis and measles, they have quite high mortality rates as well. So to prevent your child from these deadly infections, it's always better to be on track with the vaccination schedules for your child.
Ma'am, like how does this delaying a vaccine impacts the child immunity?
The vaccination schedule, which has been planned, so at 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and 14 weeks. So, if first one is delayed, of course, the parent won't continue with the same. Uh, the parent is most likely to delay the second and the third dose as well. And these vaccines against which they are protecting the child, so they tend to cause more mortality during that period. So the immunity of the child is also not well established. There are certain maternal antibodies which are present, which will wane off over 6 to 8 months and max up to 1 year of age.
Yes.
If the timeline is also not followed, the response of the vaccine will also not be as expected. And many parents even tend to miss the vaccinations as well. They think if their child is having some mild fever, cough, or cold, even then they skip. So that should not be done.
So, ma'am, we understand like delaying is a problem, and as we know that WHO also recommends few specific timelines. So, what is importance? They are mentioning it.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Ma'am, why does WHO recommend specific timelines?
Giving the so for example, the first 3 doses which the baby gets just after birth. So hepatitis B vaccine, the oral polio drops, and the BCG.
Yeah.
So we have a very high burden of tuberculosis in our country.
Yes.
The if it is contracted by an infant, the kind of infection the baby will have, it will be very severe. So of course, the first dose at that time is very important. Hepatitis B, because it's a virus which can cause hepatocellular cancer in the long run. And of course, polio as well, as it's important for the baby to be vaccinated against polio as well. And the infections like diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, then we have the pneumococcal vaccine as well. So kids, they have a very severe picture of the disease if they contract these diseases quite early in their life. So that's why we have a 6 week, 10 week, 14 week, and then we give a booster at say 16 to 18 months of life, and then later on at 4 to 6 years. That's why, as per the age of the baby, it's important to give the doses at that particular time. And
Definitely.
they, yeah,
Like as you're mentioning, that timelines are very important.
yeah,
So that value of timely vaccination also increases.
yeah, absolutely.
Ma'am, so can you like mention some major vaccine preventable diseases that children remain at risk for like vaccination if are delayed or something?
So first, as I mentioned, the BCG vaccine is for tuberculosis. Many a times, if the delivery is not in a place where the vaccinations are given timely, it's conducted somewhere else. So this vaccine may be missed, and that should not be done. So definitely, tuberculosis is one of those. And then we have a diphtheria. Then we have a whooping cough as well, which is the pertussis. Then a tetanus, and then a pneumococcal infection as well, that is due to streptococcus pneumoniae. Then we give the injectable polio as well at 6, 10, and 14 weeks now. Initially, it was an oral polio, but we have switched to the injectable schedule now. And along with this, we also have a rotavirus as well, because infants are very much prone for diarrhea in the first 1 year of life. So
Yes.
if the episodes of diarrhea reduce with giving the rotavirus vaccine, even that is well and good, because diarrhea can be fatal, and it can cause quite severe dehydration as well. So, in the first 1 year of life, these vaccines are very important. They are a part of the national immunization schedule as well.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
ma'am, as we understood, like how does this timely vaccination contribute to the community immunity or what we call as herd immunity?
If a number of kids are vaccinated, their parents follow the schedule. So, all of them will have a similar immunity, and there will be less chances of disease outbreaks. So,
Hmm.
that will cause an overall well-being of the entire community. There won't be severe outbreaks, as we had seen the measles outbreak recently. So that was quite severe. It happened around 1.5 years back. Because all these infections come with their own set of complications as well, as
Yes.
measles causes a pneumonia, some rare complications like panencephalitis, because that causes long term damage. So if we want a child to have a very holistic development and the well being, so it's important that we don't miss the doses.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. Timely vaccines give you that value if you have taken it on time as it is recommended. So, ma'am, what are the consequences of having this low or delayed vaccination coverage, like in a community, if we say?
So if the vaccine coverage is low, so the herd immunity won't be that well established, and the number of outbreaks will also increase. And children falling ill repeatedly, it affects their growth and development. So it will cause morbidity, and if the disease picture is severe in children less than 5 years of age, then definitely mortality as well.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. That plays an important role. Yeah. Ma'am, so what is the difference between a vaccination coverage and a vaccination timelines?
So vaccination coverage is in a particular community, how many children are vaccinated, and a timeline ensures if it's followed on time, uh, as the vaccines have been given at their designated time period. If they have followed everything correctly, then the timeline is correct. But the coverage is how many people have been vaccinated out of a particular group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ma'am, as we say, like WHO also recommends timely vaccination. Why is like 24 months mark considered a global benchmark for this complete vaccination?
So, by the time the child turns 24 months of age, all the major vaccines have been completed.
Yes.
Right from the 6 weeks, 10 weeks, 14 weeks, then the child gets the DPT booster at 16 to 18 months. And and majority of the illnesses in children, they are in the first 2 years of life. Children are very prone to fall ill. So if
Yes.
everything has been completed, and if any of the doses have been missed, so by 24 months of age, these doses have to be completed.
Yes.
So definitely they are covered for all the major infections which can be prevented with the vaccines.
Ma'am, as we understand this timely vaccination, there are few cases like who are having already this chronic illnesses. In that cases also, if the it is delayed, is there any cause or like impact on them?
Definitely. So children who have chronic illnesses, like they may be having sickle cell anemia, or they can have a congenital heart disease or any immunodeficiency as well. So they are more prone for these kind of infections.
Okay.
So we actually, as the pediatricians, we need to counsel the parents of such kids that you need to be much more careful than
Yeah.
a normal child, and some special vaccines also need to be given in such kids. So of course, with the routine vaccinations, of course we can give some special vaccines as well, and they are more prone to fall ill. If a child has a 20%, if any normal child has a 20% chance, this child definitely has a 40% chance of
Okay.
contracting that infection.
Yes, ma'am. So, like special precautions or any specific modifications, like schedule modifications, can we do it for any medical conditions if they're having?
Uh, so, as per the normal schedule which has been followed, you can give those vaccines. Of
Yeah.
course, if the child has any immunodeficiency, so giving a live vaccine, it needs to be just with caution, as we need to see how immunocompromised the child is. As any live vaccine, like we give the BCG vaccine, and we give the measles vaccine as well, along with rubella. So that is also a live vaccine. So in a already immunocompromised child, it can have a severe disease picture. So we just need to be careful for that. And of course, special vaccines like the flu vaccine. Then we give the hepatitis A vaccine, and uh, we give the meningococcal as well. So the children are more particular for these kind of infections by encapsulated organisms. So we
Okay.
need to be extra careful with that.
Nowadays we see like the parents coming, like you must have also encountered few of these cases. Like, what are the common reasons which we find in delay or skipping the vaccinations?
So, firstly, improper knowledge and awareness at the side of the parents, if they have not been counseled regarding the benefits of the vaccines, first, most important reason. Also, secondly, if the child is having a fever, cough, or a cold, of course, if it's a very severe infection and the child is admitted in the hospital, we
Hmm.
of course need to wait for the next dose of the vaccine. But if it's a mild fever around 99 to 100 Fahrenheit and a normal cough, cold, so parents skip the vaccines in these conditions. But it should ideally not be done, because
Yeah.
in such kind of infections you can proceed with the vaccination. And
Yes.
also, when the baby is teething and the child is a little irritable, parents prefer to stay at home and stay indoors. They feel that giving the vaccine in such a condition will also be very tiring for the baby. It will be painful.
Yeah.
First is they see needles and the pain associated with the vaccine, that gets the parent more overwhelmed rather than the baby.
Yes,
So
ma'am. Definitely. That has to be not there. They have to take the more protections
yeah,
for their loved ones. So
yes,
basically, they have to take these steps.
yes.
Ma'am, how can healthcare workers, like doctors are the practitioners, they're already advising. Apart from their healthcare workers, how they can help in improving little more vaccination timelines?
So right from the grassroots level in nursing homes, when the baby is born, of course the pediatrician visits for the delivery. So the nurses there, they need to focus on talking to the mother and the family, that how important are the first 5 years,
Yes.
and first will be that, and of course the the pediatrician who visits for the delivery needs to counsel the family in and out regarding everything, hand over a file which will have the list of the vaccines which are there.
Yes.
So here, and plus we have the pulse polio immunization campaign which goes on. It's been going on since many years now. So that is one thing. It's a very great initiative by the Indian government. Also, putting out hoardings and notices on even social media. Many parents check social media as well. So more awareness needs to be made, and proper counseling and clearing the myths. That is most important.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. There are n number of myths which you might be countering on a daily basis that that we have to make an awareness for them. That is
Yeah.
major thing which we have to do. Ma'am, like are there any tools to remind the parents or can we have this reminders which they can use to stay a track with this vaccination schedule and timelines?
So digital vaccination documents need to be kept as they are more accessible as well, as we are in the era of smartphones. Sometimes hard copies can be misplaced here and there. So digital vaccination certificates are really beneficial, like how the COVID pandemic came out. So everyone who took the COVID vaccine had their records on the COVID app as well.
Yeah.
So that's very convenient. And if also the child has to travel somewhere and some particular vaccine requirements are there, you can always keep it handy.
Yes.
So even at school as well, if the child is being sent for some trip, so having the vaccination records is very much beneficial,
Yes, ma'am, definitely. That is handy as well. And digitally, if you have the tools, you can access it from anywhere, anytime.
right?
Ma'am, like how can this information, what we were talking about, the myths about the vaccination timelines, how it can impact the community on a larger scale?
So, if the information regarding the vaccines is not conveyed to the parents, they may think, oh, I can skip it. What big deal? If the child gets the natural immunity by actually going through the disease, it will be good enough. There are certain communities, even in the foreign countries, where they try to skip the vaccines and go as natural as the possible. But this will lead to a surge in the number of infections in the first 5 years of life. And of course, if the herd immunity is not good, as I said before, outbreaks would be there. And this would affect the overall impact. It would affect the overall early childhood life, and more children falling ill, more outbreaks. So it will be a lot of morbidity and mortality as well. So we can't afford to have uh, a lot of illnesses in the first 5 years of life, definitely.
Definitely, ma'am. Ma'am, so as we are talking about the timely vaccination, suppose someone has already missed it. So, what is the next step they can do it?
So you can at the most keep a 2-3 week buffer period, and so if the vaccine was is due at 6 weeks of life, just try not to delay much and take it within the 2-3 week period from the due date of the vaccine. As the further responses will also be delayed, it will be suboptimal. So that's why missing the doses is definitely not an option. If it is missed, it needs to be taken within the stipulated time.
Yes. So, ma'am, does that impact the immune system as well? Like they have already missed the doses. Now, we recommend that they have to take it whenever is the right time. So, is there any effect on the immune system as
So
well?
the responses may not be as expected as, and also we are ensuring 100% coverage. But if the timeline is again not followed, the immunological responses may be a little suboptimal. So uh, it can
Yes.
affect the
So
responses
we
definitely.
recommend timely, but if even though it is missed, they have to go and consult and take the
Yeah.
vaccinations. Yes, ma'am. So how vaccines timelines have improved, like within this recent years? Like what is the graph which is showing?
So it has definitely improved, but there is more scope for improvement.
Yes.
So definitely due to the awareness and the availability of the vaccines in the government centers also, it has definitely improved. So right in 2023, it was so the coverage uh, of the DPT vaccine was around 91%. It has come to 94% in 2024, but we need to reach the 100% mark. So there's definitely room for improvement, but it has improved since before.
I think so. Like keeping the records digitally has also, and making the awareness about the diseases, this all have contributed to increase these numbers.
Yes,
What
definitely.
we understand from the entire picture. Ma'am,
Def-
so there are few questions in chat box. I was just seeing those. That
okay.
timely vaccination, how much is it important? So, would you like to answer that? Like, how much the timely vaccination is important?
So there is a particular reason why the vaccine timeline has been planned like this because these 6, 10, 14 weeks, which are the first three sets of the vaccines, if they happen to a small baby, the picture will be very severe. And
Yes,
we don't want a child to go through such severe infections so early in life. So definitely timely vaccination needs to be followed
yes,
as we have seen so much about polio as well. Of course, we don't see many cases anymore, but
yes.
it needs to be, and even a tetanus for that matter. It's a very severe disease.
Hmm.
So the timeline should not be compromised. Like how much ever busy the parents are,
Yeah.
and you have to take out time. And even along with the vaccinations, the well baby checkups also have to be done. So
Yes.
mostly pediatricians plan their follow-ups coinciding with the vaccination visits, so they can assess the baby's growth and development also. Like a basic checkup where you see the child's weight, length, and the head circumference also. So timeline is everything.
Yes, ma'am. Like parents will be frequently coming for the visits to the pediatricians, to the neonatologist. So, how can healthcare workers motivate them at that moment, even though they have missed the doses? So, because now some parents might be thinking that no, it's already done. Then what we have to do now? That misconceptions will be there in the mind.
So, firstly, it's important to ask why did they miss, not shout at the parents or make them feel they've committed a very gross error. Some other reasons also could be there, but if they have missed it as they thought it's not important to give the vaccine to the baby, then you
Yes.
need to explain the burden of the disease. If it happens in a very small child, how will it be? What
Yes.
kind of complications are expected? And so you need to explain everything to the parent. And further, it should not be repeated. You need to make sure about that as well. And so to catch up with the vaccines then.
Yes, definitely, ma'am. So, ma'am, what will be the entire take-home message, like which we can give to our audience, so that this value of timely vaccinations and importance is created?
So parents would be parents when they plan a pregnancy. Firstly, the mother also should be vaccinated as per the recommendations from the gynac.
Yes,
Then they need to be prepared before the birth of the baby. What is it entirely going to be at birth? What doses would be there? The first 5 years, what will be the vaccines for the baby? Parents need to be well read. They
yes,
what can be done? The nursing homes can also give out booklets or pamphlets to the parents, and then they will be aware of what the entire first 5 years will be. How many times they have to go to the doctor to get the baby checked, and vaccines will be at what time, and also parents need to be counseled regarding the adverse events uh, following the vaccination. So they think fever and pain is something which should not be there. So fever will be there. It's a natural response in any infection also, and after the vaccination. So it's a normal adverse event. Of course, the red flags need to be explained, but parents need to be made aware of the importance of a timeline, the vaccine coverage, what kind of adverse events can be seen, like pain and fever and some severe ones, and the benefits of giving the vaccinations on time. So how it will contribute to the future good health of the child when the child goes into teenage and then adulthood.
Yes.
How well that will
Definitely,
be.
ma'am. So, as our topic suggests, like stay ahead of infection. So, value of timely vaccination is very important. It's very important.
Absolutely.
So, with this, we will conclude this session, ma'am. Thank you so much for your
Thank,
presence.
thank you
Uh,
for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for all being a part of Immunize Talks here. We hope that today's session was very informative and valuable in spreading awareness on staying ahead of infection and the value of timely vaccination. So, our special thanks to Dr. Maithili Joshi for sharing her expertise, time, insight, and being with us today. So, ma'am, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
For those who would like to revisit the program, the video will be available on our official media platforms. Please follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do like, share, and spread the word as much as many, including your friends, family, and colleagues and relatives. So, until we meet next time in the live talk, stay healthy, stay aware, and please take care good of your health. Thank you so much, ma'am.